No brand or business can afford to ignore the millennial cohort. This generation of people born between the early 1980s and the late 1990s are the largest generation in the world's history. From a consumer perspective, they possess between 35 and 45% of discretionary spending power. They are a massive opportunity, but here's the challenge. They are buying different things in different ways and for different reasons. If you want to market to a group across the generational divide, it's a bit like trying to understand how to market with a different ethnic group. You need to understand what makes them tick, what's valuable to them, what's the language that will work. And so in this short clip, I want to look at 7 of the defining characteristics or beliefs or expectations of the millennial group as a bunch of consumers. The first thing, which is no huge surprise, is as consumers, this is a group who are online obsessed. Everything is about going online for them. This is a generation, if they were asked, and they have been surveyed many times asking about how they want to purchase products, how they want to engage with brands, 54% will look to purchase online. Of that group, 26% will look to use a smartphone, and only 11% of millennial consumers, as their first port of call, will opt to go to a physical retail store to buy products. This is a group whose buying behaviors and practices are so incredibly different. You can get them into a store, but you've got to make the experience very different to the one that in many cases exists right now. The second characteristic of millennial consumers is they are experience driven. 78% of millennials would rather spend money on experiences than stuff. And so if you're selling to this group, marketing to this group, the more of an experience you can make it, the more attractive it'll be. Number 3, which is an interesting one, this is a generation who are socially minded. 92% of millennials say that a business's success should be measured in ways that have got very little to do with that business's profit. In fact, for this generation, corporate social responsibility, the values of a brand are absolutely key. They tend to want to work for and buy from brands whose values match their own. In fact, 2/3 of millennials say they will choose to buy or not buy from a business based on its corporate social responsibility policies. Number 4, the interesting thing about this group is they're very open. They are honest. They want things to be raw, to be real. They want authenticity above all else. In fact, we often say that this is a generation who have a finely tuned BS meter. If you're not sure what a BS meter is, the first word is bull. You can connect the dots, okay? But it's so critical you're honest with this group. Admit your flaws. The reality is anytime you market a product and say it's got 99.9% anything, efficiency, reduction in X, Y, or Z, 99.9% is just simply too convenient a number. Be honest with this group. Say, it might work for you, it doesn't work for everyone. And if you're honest about your products and the promises you can make, they're far more likely to trust and believe you. All right, number 5, this is a group who are postmodern. And this sort of ties into the previous point. Postmodernism is a view that says all truth is relative, not absolute. This is a generation who, when they're asked about their versions or views on the truth, 32% say that truth is not a black and white thing, it's all about shades of grey and personal experience. And if you're going to connect with a postmodern consumer, the best way to communicate with them, to market to them, is to use narrative. Because stories take the message you want to get through and they put it in the context of your experience. And for this group, experience is king. The mantra of a postmodern generation, don't tell me it's right, show me it works. Apply what you're trying to communicate to me to experience, and that's when the penny drops. Number 6, they're a generation who are attention seeking, for want of a better word. 2/3 of them will engage in activities and buy products that will give them something to share on social media. In fact, when I'm working with groups of hairdressers or in beauty salons, I'll often encourage them to make a space of their salon Instagram ready. In other words, create a booth where once people have had their hair cut or their nails done, there's somewhere they can sit that's got an awesome background that is tailor-made and ready for photos to go up on Instagram and Facebook. For this group, having things that they can share with their social network is one of the most important things to them. It's a key part of how they derive and express their identity. And number 7, this is a group who are selectively loyal. It's interesting because they're not generally a generation who are loyal to brands per se. They'll be loyal to relationships, and they'll be loyal to that sense of trust, that you've built respect with them over time, that there's a sense of they get to know you as a business and a brand, they trust you. And so 70% of them will return to a brand they know, like, and trust. You can build loyalty, but simply relying on familiarity is not enough with this group, even though it was with many of their parents. So the question is, bearing in mind these 7 characteristics of millennial consumers, how do you bridge the gap? 3 quick tips. Number 1, market through them, not to them. This is a generation with established social networks. Give them a message they can share with their peers on social networks, and that's the best way to get a message out. Because if the message appears to come from you as the company or as a product advertising what you sell or what you're about, there will be automatically a distrust. They know how advertising works. But if something seems to come from a source that they trust, i.e. one of their friends, they're far more likely to take it on board. So share content, insights, ideas, videos that are shocking, compelling, hilarious. That's the stuff that will go viral with this group. Give them something to share. Market through them, not to them. Second key is be authentic. Be honest. As we said before, this is a group with a finely tuned BS meter. Be upfront with them. Don't be afraid to put yourself forward, warts and all, with this group. They're a generation who will respect you if you can do that. Number 3, make it easy. We often talk about omni-channel approaches to doing business. You used to be able to go online and purchase through social media apps or purchase online through a website. You need to have every possible channel available to this group, and the process for buying from you needs to be seamless and free of any friction. You'll find this group will get frustrated more quickly, more readily than any other previous generation. If your shopping cart is clunky, if it's bureaucratic, if the process of buying from you is hard, they will disengage quickly and go somewhere else. So make the whole process of buying from you easy, make it effortless if you're going to engage this group. Millennials as a cohort are a huge opportunity, but they are different. The challenge for any business, any brand today is how do you understand what makes this group tick, but set up everything you do as a brand or a business so that it is something that will engage them in a meaningful way.